Eagles can live up to 70 years because they are mentally strong. After 40 years, every eagle has to make a difficult decision. Its claws are no longer sharp enough to hunt. Its beak becomes bent and blunt, and its feathers become thick. The eagle has two options. Either it dies or it goes through a painful change. This painful change is that the eagle must go to the mountain and hit its beak on a rock for 150 days until it falls out. When the old beak falls out, a new beak grows in. With a new beak, the eagle pulls out its claws. When the claws fall out, the new ones grow in. The eagle plucks out its feathers. This painful journey takes 150 days. But after doing this, the eagle gets a new life. Sometimes we need to get rid of our old self in order for a new and better version to emerge.
The unique thing that happens with an eagle, he goes through this process called molting. An eagle's life is about maybe 30 at tops. It could be even 50 years if he's wise, but that's where the eagle's life is. But in the eagle's life, in order for him to continue to strive in the areas that he should, he has to go through this thing called molting. And this thing called molting is that he has to end up going into his nest, into a high mountain. And what you will see about his character, thank you so much, what you will see about his character there, he realizes that there are things that are in his wings that has to be addressed or pulled out. So what he does then is that he takes then his beak and he reaches inside of himself and willing to hurt himself to pull then those wings out that are not usable like they used to be. They've served him well in the past, but they can't serve him where he's headed. So as a result, he has to pull them out. This is a self-inflicting wound, but he has to pull them out. If his beak then is not serving him, then he will take then his beak and slam it against a rock so that it can then regenerate and a new one can come out. He's willing to even take the claws that he used to be able to kill effectively with, but now they're not as effective as they used to be. So he's willing then to take that new beak and pull out them old claws. Y'all don't like to talk to me here. Now this is going to take about a half a year to do. Sometimes it takes even a whole year for the full process to happen. But he's willing to go through this molting process because he knows that the old him is not going to be able to move into the new assignment of him. Am I making any sense to anybody? And that means that even though he is beside his mate or beside his best friend, they can't help him. They can't pull out of him what he can pull out of himself. He knows where his weak areas is. He knows where his challenges is. And so as a result, this is between him and his God. If I feel like talking to somebody, but while he is doing it, he's looking at the sky and saying, I'll be back up there, but I got to go through this process. I'm going to be flying high again, but I got to go through this process. I am going to soar higher than storms again, but I've got to go through this process. How many of us have to die out to self in order to get through the process so you can fly higher than you have ever flown before?